everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man. I am Bobby Cool, Daddy Slick Breeze, and I have with me Eric. Didn't do anything over the weekend, McCabe.
I did a lot of things over the weekend.
I know you did. I'm just playing.
Actually, I didn't do a whole lot.
Oh, yeah. And Robert, who cares, McCall.
Hey, cool, man. What the heck?
At this point, who really cares?
Yeah,
That's true.
Whatever.
That's
Anyway.
a valid point.
So,
Dang
yeah,
it.
speaking of the weekend, what did you do, Eric McCabe?
Let's see. Well, it was a long weekend because
Was it?
Monday was off.
Yes, it was very nice. And it was a really nice weekend.
Yeah, it was. It was. What did I do? I went to Wichita with you.
Yep.
We went and competed in a Trilogy challenge
Nice.
at Oak Park there in Wichita, Kansas.
That was
was
fun.
a lot of fun. It was windy.
Yeah, it was a little bit.
It was windy, and we were rolling in. It looked like it was going to rain. It didn't rain, but we had a good time.
Yeah, we
Played with
Did Bobby win?
a couple locals. Bobby, did you win?
Yes,
Nice.
I played against myself, so I won.
Yes.
Fair.
Yes. No, we played with a couple guys that were local. A kid, Nolan, and Scott.
Scott, yep.
That was a lot of fun.
Cool.
I tell you, Nolan, that kid is gonna be good.
He was throwing.
He was young, and
Yeah.
he was 13, I believe, and
Oh, wow.
he was mashing that River Pro.
Yeah,
Dang.
he had good
Mashing.
form, too.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
And then we met some other people that knew about dynamic disc, which was really cool, and they had a really good time out there.
Mhm.
Cool.
So cool stuff. And then I played disc golf on Monday night.
Hey,
Yeah.
speaking of which, when you're gonna go play disc golf, give people more than 5 minutes notice that you're gonna go play disc
It's
golf.
going to garner larger crowds for you.
Yeah,
Right,
People want to play with you, Bobby, but when you say, "Hey, I'll be there in 5 minutes," that just
Well, that was kind of a thing. We were sitting around, and my wife was like, "Are you going to do anything?" I'm like, "I don't know." I don't know. And she's like, "Well, I'm going to go to the track and go run." So I was like, "Well, I guess I'll go play some disc golf."
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, okay, I'm going to go play some disc golf. So yes, it was kind of a last minute thing, but I will try to. Maybe right now I'll put on there. Hey, is anybody interested next weekend?
there you go.
See if we can get-
I'll be
let's
I'll
plan
be
it out.
busy.
Should I put it on disc golf scene too?
Yeah.
I'm teasing. Oh, what about you, Robert McCall?
Well, who cares?
Okay.
Exactly. So,
And moving on.
Yeah.
I had a good weekend. My wife and I went and hung out with her family in Texas. Just kind of hung out, sat in the river, played Can Jam. Have you guys played Can Jam before?
Absolutely.
It was fun. We had a good time. Yeah, I mean, lots of travel time, but it was good to get to see her family and hang out. So
we also went over to Chris Edson here.
Oh, yeah.
He had a little family shindig type thing.
Shinny dig.
And they had spike ball there.
yeah,
They
Awesome.
had, what's it, beer frizz.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had a game I brought, Kube, K-U-B-B, which
Is that the
That's
the
the
Swedish one?
game that we
Absolutely.
played. Right?
Okay, yeah, I
That
want to
one?
play that. J Ray was telling me about that.
it's fun.
It is a lot of fun, especially when you're playing against a bunch of Swedes that
Right.
really want to win.
right.
Because it's their game.
Because yeah, absolutely.
So that was a lot of fun. Stayed there for a few hours and just sat around and fellowshipped and played games
I dig it.
and watched the Royals lose.
Oh,
What's new?
rip.
So, there they are right there walking by. Hey,
Oh,
Edsons.
hey.
So
You think they heard us?
I doubt it.
Probably not.
And anything else? Nope, that's about it.
Yeah.
I went on Disc Golf Answer Man Facebook Live.
I saw that.
And asked people to guess my score.
I was this close to writing a 69 down.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Well, I shot a 70.
I saw.
And so I'm going to look through there and see if I can. So if you guys, you need to pay attention on Facebook Live. You don't know, you never know when we're going to have stuff to give away. So
I
fun
thought you were
there.
going to say you never know what you're going to get.
Life is like a box of chocolate. All right, so we got a lot of questions.
It was a really well thought out Forrest Gump
you like that?
imitation.
It was actually pretty awful.
It was like, well, it felt mandatory.
Well,
that you
here's
have
a-
to say
yeah,
it like
yeah.
that. But I
Well,
didn't
here's
wanna put a lot
here's
of
a
effort
random
into it.
voice. I'll
Yeah.
say a line from the movie.
Laughing like a box.
Even better. Even better. Keep
Maybe
it
it
going.
was Forrest Gump's mom.
Maybe it was. It's weird. She didn't really. Well, I guess she did.
She
say
did
that.
say it.
Yeah.
She did say it.
Second one was Forrest Gump's mom. You nailed it.
Thank you.
And I'm proud of you.
I appreciate it. So anyway, yeah, we had fun Trilogy Challenge, guys. Yes, this past weekend was the kickoff for Trilogy Challenge. Make sure you go to trilogychallenge.com, see if there's an event near you. You can even go to our YouTube page. You can see how they throw for Eric and myself. We did our Is This Disc Right For You Trilogy Challenge Edition. That way it kind of gives you an idea of what to expect. I definitely wouldn't make it to where you're like, oh, I don't think those are good. I'm not gonna. You want to play. You want to figure out for yourself how those discs will throw. And and just like every year, you'll get a certain group of people that say the Deputy is the best. You get certain people that say River Pro is the best, and just, and all that. So you never know till you go out there and try yourself.
That's true.
All right, you guys ready for just hop into the questions?
Let's do it.
All right. Remember, guys, as always, you can go to discgolfanswerman.com, submit your questions. We will get it on the air. We're going to hop on with some speak pipe questions. This one is from Connor.
What's up, Disc Golf Answer Crew? This is Connor with a question for you guys about putting. When I first started playing disc golf, I tried out the Dynamic Disc Judge, and I loved it. It came out really clean in my hand, and I putted with them for about a year. And then they started coming out really wobbly in my hand. And so then I realized that I must just not like the bead that the Judge has. So I switched to the Warden, thinking that it would come out a little bit cleaner. And as a result, it did. And now about a year and a half later, the Warden is starting to become very wobbly in my hand. And so I had a few of my Judges just laying around in my car. And so I picked them up one day just to try them out, to put around with them and whatnot. And now the Judge is coming out very clean in my hand. And the Warden is still coming out wobbly. Is this something to do with my technique or release? Or should I just go back to the bead instead of the non-bead? So hope you can answer it, guys. Have a good day and keep it real.
Nice.
What do you guys think?
I would assume it would have more to do with grip
Yeah.
than form or technique.
Okay.
How do you grip the disc, Robert?
I don't know.
Where's
Kinda
your
like
index finger?
Oh, mine's
Is it-
I put the bead on my little.
Which you don't have a bead on your.
Well,
Warden,
yeah,
so
but sorry,
you
the
just
edge
lied
of my
to everybody.
Yeah. At this point, who cares? The edge of the disc where the bead would normally
Yes.
be
Okay.
is just right there.
Okay.
And if you're listening,
Yeah, I was
that's
gonna
where
say.
my first knuckle is.
yeah. That's exactly where I do it as well. It kind of rolls off that at the very end.
Right.
I didn't know. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, what?
Do you put your finger on the rim?
We were just me and Anthony were talking about this earlier, and I thought you did a power grip like all of them were under
Me?
Windows. Yeah.
I do a
like a
modified, like a stacked grip
Yeah.
on pretty much everything with the exception of putters.
And so
I actually just posted a picture of my driver grips on the Disc Golf Answer Man.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody had asked me to do it like a month ago, and I'd forgotten. And I just did it.
So your finger is on the rim when you putt. Your
It's underneath the disc. Anybody got a putter in this
Anybody got a
warehouse?
putter?
Anthony,
Yeah.
hook us up, dog.
so we can actually see it. And we'll talk it through.
We'll
for
talk it
the-
out.
We'll talk it out for the audio guys.
Sure, bring us a Marshall.
Yeah, none of which we've talked about. Yeah. So. So
Right here.
Oh, so you do have your finger out on the rim a little bit.
Yeah.
I always thought you were like this.
Oh no, that's for no.
That-
Yeah, that's
Some people do that though, don't they?
That's my grip on mid ranges.
Right.
And Bobby's, it's kind of a power grip, but it's more of a modified stacked grip where my fingertips are actually on the flight plate of the disc
Yeah, instead of curled all the way
instead
under.
of curled on the rim, where an
okay.
actual power grip, your fingers are on
it,
the
okay.
rim.
I
Yeah.
gotcha.
And for me, it just always felt more comfortable that way. For putting, I keep it spread out, almost fan, not quite as
Yeah.
big of a fan as like a push putter would,
Right.
but it's kind of more of a compact version of it, I guess you would say, with my
see
finger
that?
coming right around there.
No, your grip.
Because I put my finger
Yeah,
my finger
okay.
all the way on the rim, and then my other hands are really fanned out, and I
Fan
felt
grip.
like
and
that.
you have more of a push putt style.
Right, and it feels like sometimes if I really got to get some distance, it'll be wobbly because I don't feel like I have enough grip.
Because it comes out a little odd.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking about modifying my grip.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't Macbeth have his finger out on the rim like that?
I think he does. He's
Yeah.
also kind of a
yeah.
spin
He's kind of a
pusher.
halvesy.
Yeah.
That's the same for me. I don't do that. I do same as you, but then kind of let these just hit where they hit. Yeah.
For me, on grip, I think it's
just what feels
whatever
comfortable
feels
to
the
you.
most comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for this gentleman, I would suggest, working on your grip a little bit, but also I would assume you're probably more of a push putter than a spin putter based on the wobble that you get. And a lot of times what'll change for me is if I try a new putter or a new putting style, because I'm really, really focused on what I'm trying to do and trying to learn a new style, this come out really clean because I'm thinking about every single little thing that I need to. Once you've kind of gotten into a groove and you're not thinking about it as much, it can be easier to get lazy on some stuff like that and then, let some wobble come in. So that's what I would guess. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I think it's firmness too.
Yeah. You don't want
it to
be
I know when you're throwing
flexible.
forehands, if you don't have a firm grip like on your thumb pushing down, it'll come out like a wounded duck.
Right.
But the more pressure you put on it, the cleaner the release is. So
Right.
that could be some of it as well. I think it's probably just your grip, really. Just kind of work on that grip. And between the judge and the warden, I think it's really whatever flight works better for you.
Yeah, whatever feels good in your hand.
Yep.
All right. Next one comes from
But it should be the warden, though. But
I don't know about
is
that.
the brand is the brand. Next one is from Brand.
Hi, Disc Golf Answer Man. This is Brent from Northern British Columbia, Canada. We have a course here, a new one, that we're trying to install tee boxes on. We have funding for 2 tee boxes per hole, and we have 4 tee boxes on them. We have juniors, we have novices, we have intermediates, and we have advanced. Would you suggest installing the 2 tee boxes on the novice and the intermediates, or the intermediates and the advanced? Second part of my question would be, look.
Do you want to rewind it?
A little bit,
Okay, hold on.
because I heard a trash can in there.
I know, sorry. Okay, guys, so if you ever hear a weird noise, I tend to forget that we're listening through the speak pipe through my MacBook, and when the questions are going, I tend to try to do a little cleanup things that I see, and so I was emptying my, I was deleting something, so I'm sorry, and then I forget that it picks up the sound. Anyway, so here we're going to listen to some more, so
whatever,
Eric
man.
can answer this better.
We have intermediates and we have advanced. Would you suggest installing the 2 tee boxes on
You
the
want me to go back
novice and
more?
the intermediates?
Let's just start this one all the
Okay,
way
sorry.
over.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Disc Golf Answer Man. This is Brent from Northern British Columbia, Canada. We have a course here, a new one, that we're trying to install tee boxes on. We have funding for 2 tee boxes per hole, and we have 4 tee boxes on them. We have juniors, we have novices, we have intermediates, and we have advanced. Would you suggest installing the 2 tee boxes on the novice and the intermediates, or the intermediates and the advanced? Second part of my question would be,
Okay, you can stop
looking
there.
at
That's a good question. I would absolutely make sure to put concrete on the he called it advanced level, but I would almost consider it more pro level tees instead of advanced level. Definitely your longer tees is where I'd put it. The other one is kind of a toss up. I think it kind of depends on how many juniors you guys actually have play the course, what your plans are with the course, how many novice and rec. I would say, just judging from the course, wherever the most popular teen area is. And I would almost venture to guess it's probably that novice area.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
So I would go, I would leave the juniors tees for now as natural tees, and then maybe the next setback put in the concrete, and then the next setback you'll have natural tees there, and then the further back, the longest tees have concrete as well.
Another question to ask yourself, I'm sorry, is if you're planning on using the course for competition and you intend to use 2 sets of tees, think ahead to which ones you'd like those to be too. I totally agree with the farthest back ones, because a lot of times those are the longer, more technical shots. Players are more accustomed to that.
And that's what people want. They want a challenge. So
Yeah.
They want to go out and play the most difficult layout possible.
Totally. And if you're going to run an event there and you're just going to use that set of tees, then I think, the most popular after that is definitely the best way to go.
All right, let's hear his second part.
2 different options. Second part of my question would be, looking at 2 different options, either standard concrete tee boxes or going with something like a disc golf parks, the AstroTurf. What would you suggest? Thank you.
Great question. Let me ask you this. How much maintenance are you willing to put into the tee pads? I absolutely love teeing off the AstroTurf, but it takes a lot of work to maintain it. I mean, yearly work you're going to have to put into it to make sure that they stay flat. The beautiful thing about concrete is
Set it and forget it.
you put it in, and it's. I mean, we're still using tees at Jones Park that have been there for 20 years.
Right.
So I mean, it kind of depends on how much work you want to put into the course after you put the tees in. My recommendation, if you're putting in that many, would be to just go with concrete. Personally, AstroTurf has a lot of advantages. It's probably healthier on your body. It looks good. It tees off. I mean, it's great when it's taken care of. But concrete is pretty much the standard. Yeah. Especially, well, I mean, you're in Canada, but it's the standard in the States. I know a lot of European courses are going to the AstroTurf, and I like it. I like AstroTurf a lot, but if I had to put in a course, I'm more than likely gonna suggest to put in concrete. Yep. For that simple fact. For sure.
Awesome. Next one comes from Rich.
What's up? Bobby taking the competition down Brown, Eric stealing your babe McCabe, and Robert 1000 McCall. I just had one question for you guys.
Not quite yet 1000 McCall.
Yeah. I just like his.
But I do get to steal babes, apparently.
Yeah. he's Mr. Steal Your Girl, right? I like it.
All right, back to this question.
What made you love disc golf as much as you do? What really got you into it and gave you passion? Thanks for the answers, and thanks for everything you guys do. Look forward to hearing what you say.
It's a good question.
I don't really like disc golf that much.
No?
Nah.
Yeah, whatever. So what made you fall in love with it, Robert?
I started playing in Abilene, Texas, and I was in college. And a buddy of mine, I'd played once or twice before in Austin, but nothing noteworthy. And a buddy of mine said, "Hey, we're gonna go out and play disc golf. Do you want to go?" And I'm intensely competitive, and so I was like, "Yeah, I mean, I've played maybe once or twice, but I mean, I'm gonna crush you at this, guaranteed." And I bet he beat me by 20.
Nice.
Right? I mean, just hurt my feelings. It was bad.
Did you cry?
A little. He was a real trash talker. So, but after that, at that point, I didn't care about disc golf. I just cared about beating him. Right. And so I played until I could finally beat him. It took a couple of months because he was pretty solid. And by that time, I don't know if I was quite hooked, but I was at least close. Then I started playing mini tournaments in that area, and walked into the first one, having shot, I don't know, 1 or 2 under on that course, and thought that I was the best.
Yep.
I was not.
You were not.
Yeah. I am still currently not the best. But I thought I'm going to play this until I can win one of these or be competitive in one of those. And by that time, I had fallen in love with the flight of a disc, right? Making a disc do what you want to do, because in disc golf, I think the flight of a disc is one of the most aesthetically pleasing things that you can watch in sports, because it has a couple of dynamics. It's not like a basketball that's always going to go one way. It's not like a football. It's not even like a golf ball, because we can turn one over to the left and bring it back to the right. They can fly on a roller angle. They can be upside down. I mean, at that point, I love getting to watch that, and I love getting to execute a shot. And the thought that I could go out and play a round of disc golf and play the best I'd ever played and still have room to improve is something that I love about it. Like, it's a constant it's a constant journey toward getting better. That's what I love about it.
Yeah.
What about you, Eric?
That's true. A couple reasons. I mean, a lot of the same reasons, actually. I started in high school, actually, right here in Emporia. And I think it was the competitive nature that I have. Just going out and playing with friends and wanting to beat them and wanting to play well and have a good time. And, of course, seeing the flight of the disc. Yeah. And, a lot of it, I also would have to say it was the disc golf family. Yeah. How great everybody is. How many people I have in my life right now that are very special to me, that mean a lot to me, that I would have never met if it wasn't for disc golf. So like the disc golf family out there, it's ridiculous. Like it's like a whole nother breed of people that will do anything for you, and that's great.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Agreed. What about you, Bobby? You saw the millions and millions of dollars that could be made by disc golf media.
I started out with why can't I think?
Thinking is difficult.
It is. Just say it. Just let it flow.
Did he ask why we
What
fell
got you hooked?
What
on
got
disc
you
golf?
hooked?
Okay. All right. So it was millions of dollars. No.
It was all the money.
All the monies. No, a friend of mine, Jeremy Taylor, his dad, Jim Taylor.
What up, JT?
What up, JT? And he wanted to do the 2009 Green Country Open, which was a national tour event. And he needed help with the website. And I said I would help him because I liked doing stuff on websites. Then I found out that he was needing help with pictures and maybe some video promotions for the Green Country Open. And then I met up with Joe Rotan of Twisted Flyer. And he was like, yeah, I'll pay in some discs to do some stuff. So,
Okay.
yeah, okay. So I did some commercials for them. So we posted on Facebook and
You
stuff
still
like
get
that.
paid in discs from DD.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
And I pay my mortgage with discs.
That's right. This one's
goes
limited edition. It's worth more.
It's worth a lot more than you think. So anyway, so that kind of got my start, and then I started noticing that there were some disc golf videos out there, and there were some DVDs out there, and I thought I could do this. I've always wanted to work in media and stuff like that, and I thought this is my opportunity to put my foot in the door and establish myself in some kind of media realm. And I knew the way of social media was going to allow niche sports to shine and stuff like that. And so after I did the Green Country Open and people liked my stuff, I decided to start doing tournament things. And so I guess what made me fall in love with it is that that aspect is that it allowed me to achieve some of my dreams that I wanted to do when it comes to working in media, having a job and a career in media.
Like recording in the back of an expedition.
Yeah, I like the recording. Yeah.
One of the first times I ever met Bobby, we were at
Pahuska.
Pahuska at the lodge. We were on hole number 2 on, I think it's
It was the island course.
island course.
Yep.
And it's this big downhill shot, and it was a Joe Rotan event. And I remember he had back then it was popular to do the $10,000 ace hole.
Yeah.
And you have to step up to the camera and say your name and your
The disc,
PDGA number and the disc, and then it's PDGA approved. And then you got to throw the shot, and the disc can't go out of the frame, and it can't hit a leaf and go in or skip in or anything. It's got to be all there.
Yep.
And I remember Bobby being there, and it was cold that day, and he was. Instead of standing there recording, he was in the back of his expedition
with the window.
the back window open, and he was recording that way. It's
so
one of my earliest memories.
People
of
would
Bobby.
walk up to the hole and go, "What? Oh, what?" I'd be
What?
sitting there and
Huh?
say, "Just give me your name, what disc you're throwing, whatever." So,
and get out of the way.
so anyway, that was fun. And
That's awesome.
someone said that they did live earlier than this, but I don't know of anybody that did live coverage of disc golf. But during the Green Country Open, I went live on live stream, and it was in the back of my expedition. And it was I literally had a desktop computer in the back of my expedition
With an extension cord.
and then I was hooked up to Jim Taylor's house Wi-Fi, and I had my camera set up and a computer running in the back, and I had it plugged into like a converter into the expedition.
Yeah.
And it was hole 17 and 18 and a little bit of hole 1, I think. But it was going live.
That's
and I
awesome.
remember
Oh.
sorry guys. And I remember they had a chat function, and somebody from Canada was like, "I'm watching disc golf live from Canada." I was like, "This is amazing." It was just so cool. So anyway.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Do you go back and watch your old videos every once in a
I
while?
watch the
and I
DVDs every
cry.
night when I go to sleep.
Dude,
You know what my favorite? You know
Okay,
what
yes,
my
yes.
favorite
Okay,
thing
you go
is?
ahead. You go ahead.
My favorite thing is the Cool Daddy Slick Breeze voice.
Yes, that's exactly
Is that
what
what
I
you
was
were
going
gonna
to say.
say?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Oh, it's so good.
The
So
one
good.
that I think of most is the dynamic duel at Louisville.
Yeah.
It's you and Nico.
Yep.
And Bobby starts off with this one. He says, "Welcome to the 2010 Dynamic duel. It's like it's,
Dynamic duel.
I loved
hosted
it,
by
man.
Dynamic disc.
Oh man,
I
it
was trying
great.
so hard to make it sound all cool and professional. So
Yeah.
It's awesome.
so-
We need to bring those back.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Do we
I
have
mean,
those? Oh, I guess they're on YouTube.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
on
they are.
YouTube.
but I mean, on the opposite side of that, I think back to when I first started playing disc golf and like the discs I threw and how I threw for the longest time. It's like you just look back and laugh at it, but you had to be there to be here.
Right.
So I think it's really cool to look back and
Oh yeah.
think about stuff like that.
And now that's that side. Now the play side, I enjoy playing disc golf.
Right.
You know, a while back I tried to get into golf, and I actually was, you know, I was a beginner and I was improving just a tiny bit. I wasn't by any means like good, but I could see progression. But I noticed it cost me like $50 every time
Yes,
to go
sir.
do it.
It is an expensive sport.
Yeah, and but that was when I could hang out with some of my buddies, and so I like that now in the disc golf world I can hang out with some of my buddies and go to a park and go play some disc golf and hang out, be outside, do something physical, do something that you know that you know it's not just sitting out and staring at the trees. You're actually doing something, and I can actually try to improve, and I can see improvement, and so that's what I
Yeah.
really like as well.
Yeah, there's such a low barrier to entry that so many people can get involved in it. I mean, my wife, who cares nothing about playing disc golf, will go and play with me every once in a while. It costs us no money. She uses some of the discs that I have. It's just, man, it's just so much fun.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna hop over to
Great question, by the way. That was cool.
We're going to talk about real quick. If you didn't know, I'm sure if you listen to our episodes, you know, but we want to make sure you are aware of the Nissan Stadium, the disc golf experience at Nissan Stadium. That's where we're actually going to take disc golf into a football stadium. If you have not signed up and if you're going to be in the area, I highly recommend you going out there. It's going to be good times. Going to have the Lucid Fluid Slammer,
Ridiculous.
which is going to be a nice disc that people are going to like, and you can only get it through the Nissan Stadium experience, disc golf experience at Nissan Stadium. And then, of course, the other disc you'll get is one of the overmolds, the Ceric, I think they decide on.
with a unique color pattern.
Yes, from Latitude 64. So it's just going to be fun times. DiscGolfScene.com. You can just put in the search bar Nissan Stadium, and you'll be able to find it. Get yourself signed up because it's going to be a good
It's
time.
going to be a lot of
Can't
fun.
wait.
Oh man.
In fact, Doug came in and was like, "Okay, are you going? When are you going? You know, blah blah blah." They're like getting the plans ready.
Yep.
It's like kind of
we talked about it this morning.
Yeah, and we might be able to get there early and maybe produce
Yeah,
some
I
really
thought
cool
so.
videos.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
That's awesome.
I'm thinking a few of the pros. Should I say or should we?
Yeah, we can say.
Okay,
I mean,
well-
it's confirmed that they're going.
This
so.
is what I love. I love all our players, right?
Right.
I'm not trying to show favoritism.
Sure.
But when I get a call from Paige Pierce and she says, "Hey Bobby, we were thinking about going out to Tennessee early for the Nissan Stadium thing. Do you think we can put together some videos?" I get goosebumps.
It's
I
like
get
your
excited.
that's the best thing that you could hear.
Yeah, it's like, yes, I'm going to see if I can figure out how to do it. So I was talking to Eric over the weekend, and we might try to see if we can make it to where me and Eric head out there early, meet up with Zach Melton and Paige Pierce,
Yeah.
and put together some instructional videos. And then if we can find a really nice course where I can get my drone going and stuff like that, we might do another casual round episode.
Oh, that'd be
which
super
I think
cool.
is really
Yep.
nice. So.
That's awesome, man.
All right, so let's go to some questions. This one is from Josh. What are your thoughts on having a tournament where the final round is played on a course where the players have not practiced? So they would play their 2 or 3 days on the course they know and have practiced, but on the final day they play on a newly designed course without practice. They would have to think about their shots more. It could be more taxing to go for shots that you're unsure about. Thanks for everything, and I will see you guys in July.
So this
Is he going to Nissan?
nice.
So is this a new course?
This would have to be a hypothetical.
Yeah, I guess it would be like maybe
Or is he talking about moving pins and new
He just
OB?
says
It
on a-
sounds like it's a new course.
on a course where the players have not practiced.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Isn't it sort of like what
'Cause
we
there's
used
a
to
rule
do back
about
in the day? The final 9 would be more of a safari style. Like
yeah,
you
but the
wouldn't-
final 9 was only for the top 4.
True.
It's
true.
not for the whole entire field.
That's true.
Right.
But
Would you even want to do that?
I mean, I play blind courses all the time now,
That's
but
true.
that's different than these touring guys that are traveling around. None of them are going to want to come in and not be prepared for the
Right.
event.
Right.
And if it's a large enough event, there's actually PDGA rules that says the course has to be set up for practice within a certain time period.
Yeah, it's
That's
a few days
true.
ahead of time.
So yeah, it would have to be not part of the event. like a special skins match or something like that.
Right.
Exactly.
For something like that, cool, yeah. I mean, we've all never seen the shot before. Let's see how we can attack it. Cool. Great.
Yeah.
For skins. For something that doesn't affect your rating and that you're not getting, I don't know.
What?
Nothing.
I don't know. I wouldn't be super excited about playing a course I hadn't seen before.
What came to my mind was, and I know we couldn't do it at GBO because so many people are playing, but would be to play some tournament and then the last round is Jones Gold,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
where it's that kind of extended course, the holes mixed together of Jones
I'd
East
love
and
to
Jones
see
West.
that. Yeah.
So there you go, Josh. Yeah, it sounds like a cool idea. I'm sure some pros probably wouldn't like it because that's what they do, and I'm sure they want to be able to practice a course.
I would assume you get more negative feedback than positive
Positive, yeah.
feedback on it.
Even though as a spectator, I can see where he gets
I can
the
see
idea.
the excitement
Oh, totally.
for sure.
But
I'd be down for the adventure.
Right.
For sure.
But like Eric explained, as far as PDGA rules, the courses have to be available so many days before the event to because I remember there are times where like we got to get out there and put the lines out,
Paint
the
and
flags out and
flags and-
stuff
yep.
because they got to be able to practice. All right, next one is from Justin. It's going to an all Trilogy bag, but I'm having trouble finding a replacement. Maybe for 2 discs I currently bag. One is a Metal Flake Rock 3, which is my house to mid. House to mid. Wonder what he's really trying to say.
Go to mid, maybe? Then he
Is
just
my-
typed too many.
Maybe. To mid and beat up 166 Haram.
Haram?
Oh, he meant Graham.
Oh.
Destroyer that I use for the big Anheuser shot. I thought about the Freedom, but hate the time. But hate the time, so not that one.
Hate the name.
It has to be rim. I hate the rim.
I saw this on. I think he posted that exact same
Question on Facebook.
question on
Disc Golf Instagram?
on the Answer Man page, and it actually said, "I thought about the Freedom, but hate the name."
Did he get some
The name?
responses?
The name.
Huh.
I don't know. It was let me look.
I don't know how you could hate the name Freedom. Braveheart,
Yeah,
I was just thinking that Braveheart.
Huh.
So what do you think?
Let's see. For the it's hard without knowing, for the rock which one he's throwing or how it throws for him. But rocks generally are slightly overstable, able to be thrown on a good straight line and a pretty safe to bet on finish to the left. So if you're using a rock for a shot like that, I would recommend to you either an EMAC Truth or a Verdict. Both of those are going to be pretty similar flights to that. Kind of depends on your arm speed as to which one will work better for you, but those would be the 2 that I'd recommend. I've also seen people throw the Retro Anchor, and that actually kind of feels like a rock.
Yeah, I would suggest the Anchor.
Yeah.
On that, it's going to be probably a little more overstable. I don't know.
Right.
I've never thrown a Rock 3,
Right.
so I don't really know how
Yeah.
it flies. So.
And as for a destroyer, I don't know that I would think of a Freedom as a destroyer.
Absolutely
replacement.
not.
No, yeah.
He's thinking more for the
I would suggest
right turn.
a nice Trespass.
yeah.
But it's a G-Star, and we don't have... Do we have fluid Trespasses? Do those exist?
Did we have fluid
We
moonshine?
have
No, we have fluid moonshine
moon
Freedoms.
Yeah, we had Freedom. But either way,
yeah.
I would not suggest a Freedom to replace your Destroyer. That's the complete opposite end of
Yeah.
the spectrum on it.
Yeah.
I,
think
I would
Trespass is
try.
what
I would try a Trespass, maybe even a lighter weight Trespass, since you like the 160 gram
Haram.
Haram.
Ram. All right, next question comes from Zach. My 7-year-old son is getting started in disc golf. Is it better to have him play with regular discs? He can only throw them about 50 feet. Or with the mini discs like the Mini Buzz, the Mini EMAC Truth, which isn't mini. I'm not picking on you, Zach, but we call it the EMAC Truth, the Junior EMAC Truth. Because, there's something mini. There's minis out there, and then there's the junior size.
The mini just kind of confuses people.
Right.
But you can't use it as a mini.
Be better for him now since proportionally to his body size, they are close to a normal disc than a regular PDGA approved disc would be. He seems to really enjoy the game, but I feel like he'd be more excited if he could throw further, and wondered if throwing the smaller, better proportioned discs may help him improve form better at this point.
I would absolutely get a junior EMAC and a junior Judge in his hands, just so we can work on, technique and form and throwing it without, it's like us throwing a disc about that big.
Trash can lid.
Yeah, it's just will it hyzer. You know, and 50. I mean, 50 feet's not bad for a kid that age, to be honest with you. But yeah, absolutely, I think it would be beneficial for him to try out the junior discs. I mean, that's a lot of the reason that we decided to make them, is for that exact reason, not just a novelty item.
Right. I mean, if you look at other sports, that's the reason they make the smaller equipment, is so that the smaller size hands, it will be better proportion for them, as you put it, Zach. Yep. And then, you know, eventually, you know,
the older he gets, he's going to be able to pick up like
right.
a diamond or a breakout or something like that and be able to actually throw the disc.
I just think eventually that's going to be just a natural thing, is that you're going to see kids with the smaller discs and then kind of advanced or grow into the bigger size discs. Good stuff. Next one is from Aaron. Oh, Aaron. Hey, guys, I'm looking for a backup lucid verdict. We'll buy another verdict. No. But the color selection out in the wild seems a little sparse. I was really hoping for something purple with some sparkle in it or swirls, maybe from an event. Short on sending Denise a Facebook message.
She probably has all of them.
Yeah,
probably
all purples. Do you have any suggestions on how I could find some? Does Dynamic Disc have request email to allow consumers to express interest in molds, colors, plastics? And I know you can't keep every color and every plastic and every mold in stock all the time. Just wondering if there's an easy way to express interest. I guess you did it just now.
I think the Trilogy Marketplace, or In Search Of Marketplace on Facebook, would be a great place to go post that, what you're looking for, and In Search Of post. We don't have a lot of control, I don't believe, at least, over what colors of discs we get.
Yeah, not unless it's some special event or something like that, like the Nissan Stadium thing.
Yep.
All right, let's hop over back to SpeakPipe. We got a few over there and see what we got from Jason.
CDSB, EMAC, and Robert, the commentating guru. First off, I want to comment that any live disc golf video that doesn't hire Robert to commentate their coverage is sorely missing out. Sweet. Smashbox and Steve Dodge, I'm talking to you. He's the most knowledgeable, thoughtful, and interesting guy doing it by far. There's never any uncomfortable silence and lots of extra cool tidbits on players and courses that nobody else ever talks about. Kudos to you. Anyway.
Thanks.
Well, it's nice to hear from Robert's brother.
Did you notice how he was the only one that got a nickname there? Well, I mean, he did say CDSB and EMAC, but he didn't say Eric whatever.
That's true.
Pretty cool. Congratulations. Thank you. Don't let it go to your head.
Hey, that's right. That's right.
My first question is, if you're playing in a tournament and find yourself putting inside the circle and you mistakenly footfall by losing balance or whatever, but nobody else notices but you, what do? You don't call it on yourself, right? In ball golf, you can call a mistake or penalty on yourself, but in disc golf, doesn't the call have to come from someone else? Second question,
we'll stop there. Go ahead.
You can call it on yourself.
I thought they changed that rule.
Well,
are you looking it up?
I'm not.
Oh, I thought you were.
It'd be easier for you to look it up, I think, on a computer, but I thought I read somewhere that they changed the rule of foot faults because of the new rule of it only takes one person to call you on a footfall.
On the first one, yeah.
So I thought that they changed it to where you can't call it on yourself anymore.
Yeah. What I would say, actually, you know what? Now that you say that, I encountered a situation like this. We were out at the Green Mountain for the Pro Tour Championships. Sarah Hokum was off to the side of some trees on hole 2 and had, I don't know, kind of a weird putt. Looked like she fell through a little bit, and nobody called her on it because I don't think they could really see where she was. And she looked a little frustrated because she was expecting somebody to call. I don't know. The shot didn't go well, but I don't know. Now that you say that may be true that you can't call it on yourself. However, if at least just in my opinion, if you foot fault and it's obvious to you, like you fall through a putt or set your foot in front or hand in front or anything like that, I would say to my card mates, hey, I just foot faulted. I can't call it on myself. Will you please call me on a foot fault? Now, if they think that you're trying to sneak one by and that you missed the putt and so you want to re-putt, maybe they don't call it on you. But if it were me, I would say, hey, I foot faulted. Please call this. I'll re-putt.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would word it that way because it sounds like, oh, I missed it. Maybe I can get one.
Sure.
Maybe word it as more of a, I did foot fault there, guys. If you want to call it, feel free.
Yeah.
Not like, hey, let me re-putt this.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Are you cool with that?
I wouldn't say I'm not trying to earn a re-putt when I'm saying it. I would
Do it when you make the putt.
Yeah.
and then I will believe you.
Yeah, for sure. I've never foot faulted those.
Did you find the rule?
That's not true.
Oh, here we go. Oh, this was back in 2009. Whoa,
Yeah.
thanks, Google. I need something a little more recent.
So I don't know. I mean,
I'm pretty sure I thought I read somewhere that they did change that rule. So
No, I don't see anything really quick. Maybe we'll come back to it.
yeah.
I reached out to someone who is our secret call out who might be able to help us.
Who is it?
Well, we'll have to wait to see if that person responds, and then we'll get back to it.
Okay.
We'll come back to it. Okay, Lo, so let's go to a second part of his question.
Played in 2 tournaments now with golf, but in
rewind it?
disc golf, doesn't the call have to come from someone else?
Here we go.
Second question, I've played in 2 tournaments now with a guy who falls forward after every single putt, even inside 10 feet. It's ridiculous. I've never seen anything like it. In the first tournament, I told him that he wasn't allowed to do that and that people would call him on it if they saw it. He stopped for a few holes, but continued doing it later in the round. Unfortunately, I didn't stroke him for it because it wasn't a sanctioned tournament. He apparently didn't learn his lesson from it because the next year I caught him doing it again. This time I warned him and he got pissed about it. His buddy on the card seemed to take his side and the other guy refused to give an opinion. What the hell? Are amateurs so uneducated about the rules of golf that they blatantly break them or just don't care? How do you play a tournament and not know the rules? Your thoughts and suggestions, please.
agreed.
What division did he say they were in?
Well, it was an unsanctioned tournament.
Oh.
But it sounded like an amateur.
He said amateurs. He didn't. I don't think he said an actually intermediate or.
Well, he said, do amateurs just not know the rules of
Yeah.
disc golf? So maybe he was playing in open, but I don't know. I would assume if somebody was playing in open, they would know that rule. Right?
Yeah.
How could you not?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Well,
that's
it's a
just the thing.
non-sanctioned event too, though.
Well, yeah, but
How do you? That's a tough call, especially when you're going up against a guy and his buddy
Yeah.
who's going to take his side regardless if he's
Yeah.
right or wrong. Which obviously in this case he was wrong.
right.
The only thing, I mean,
Did you get both
it's
the
really
rules?
frustrating to
know.
see, but you gotta keep stroking him, keep calling him out, and maybe marking tallies on yours and take it to the TD if possible. I mean, not to be the tell kind of guy, but I mean, you're trying to help him out by explaining the rules to him, and he didn't fix it, and he has no interest in fixing it, obviously. So he's going to play with the wrong group sometime and be ridiculed for
They're going
it.
to beat him up. No.
Yeah.
I've seen some rough disc golf groups. No, I mean, yeah, you're right. You just got to you got to call it. And if
I
you,
think it's your
and if you-
responsibility to call it. Yeah.
Right, but
It
if,
is.
I mean, if eventually if they're just going to be idiots about it, then you just got to say it is what it is,
Yeah, it's unsanctioned.
and then like maybe tell the TD or just yeah.
That's an
The key
unfortunate
is
situation.
getting the entire group to agree, and I know it's difficult when it's his buddy and the
Right.
other guy doesn't care, but I guess a lot of it could just come to move up as well.
Yeah.
I mean, playing in a more experienced division that you don't see a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that sucks, man. I'm sorry. No
All right,
fun.
next one is from Ryan. I just found your podcast and love it. I grew up on Innova discs and really only throw them, but your podcast has made me want to try the EMAC Truth.
Nice.
What would you say is the biggest difference between the EMAC Truth and the Rock 3?
Ooh. Well, the Rock 3 or the EMAC Truth is going to be feel better, go longer. And if you want it to go shorter, it'll go shorter.
It's just imagine all the things that The Rock can do.
And then
EMAC
double
can
it. No, I
Double
joke. I
those
joke.
things.
Well, in comparison, I believe if the Rock, like we talked about a little bit earlier, if the Rock 3 is like an anchor or a verdict, the EMAC Truth is going to be quite a bit straighter.
I think you'll be able to get a little bit more distance.
Get a little
out
more
of it.
distance out of it. There's no bead on it, and that's what always turned me off to the Rock was the big beads that were on them. I like more rounded edge on it. It just feels better in the hand. It has a cleaner release, so you'll probably get similar results. The EMAC's just going to be a little straighter and a little longer.
Yeah, it's also a shallower depth as well. So if you like ones that are a little bit shallower, you may prefer the EMAC Truth. I think it's for sure worth giving it a shot because
Definitely.
I've learned to throw discs that I never thought I would like just because I wanted to test it out just to see what it was.
Yep.
And and those have become staples in my bag.
So something I want to talk about real quick that I'm pretty excited about, or at least I think it's good a choice that they made, is that the Latitude 64 Next Generation Tour now has 40 sanctioned events, whereas previously sanctioned obviously by the PDGA, but previously they were, and that was something they were kind of criticized about, is that their events weren't sanctioned by the PDGA, and now they have 40 events that will be sanctioned. It says this provides stronger alignment with PDGA and the Next Generation Tour, as it has already sanctioned its national championship. So everything was non-sanctioned until you got to the championships. Next Generation Disc Golf's mission is to provide a fun tournament series for all amateurs leading to championship tournaments, offering a competitive experience that mimics the focus, pressure, and feel of our sport's top professional event. So if you haven't heard of the Next Generation Tour, it's something that Latitude 64 put together to create kind of a tour series for the amateur player, try to make the amateur feel kind of like in a pro environment to have this tour series. And none of their events were sanctioned except for the finale, but now they have 40 sanctioned events, so I'm sure a lot of people are excited about that. Have you guys talked to anybody that's played it? I know that.
Yeah.
I helped run one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, which one was that? That was at the Cottonwood
Chase Disc Golf Course in Cottonwood.
So, and I'm assuming people had a good time.
Yeah, I mean there wasn't very many people that came out,
Yeah.
but I don't know if it was because it wasn't sanctioned or what the case was.
Weather wasn't great, was it?
No, it was fine.
Was it?
I mean, it was.
Maybe just windy.
No,
No?
actually, it was probably one of the best days to play.
Huh. I see.
I don't know. I really don't know what the
Yeah.
issue was for getting people. Maybe it was because it wasn't sanctioned.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like a tournament. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I know that the big prize, one of the big draws is that you get a chance to win a brand new vehicle, a car, which is kind of cool. So make sure you go to nextgenerationdiscgolf.com and you can figure out how you can get into one of the events and maybe win a new car.
Are you going to participate in that?
I'm gonna compete.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Shave
go back
your
to an
beard.
amateur?
I'm gonna go try to win a car.
Yeah.
Shave your beard. Yeah.
Shave your beard, put on different colored contacts, and then people will be like,
Like, who's
this guy looks like he's played, but I don't recognize him.
I've never
so.
seen.
What
I'll
would
just
your-
throw all four hands and then lose
Yeah, they'd be like,
miserably.
Gosh.
What would you change your name to?
Derek.
Derek
Derek.
McCabe.
Derek McKay. Nice.
No one would ever know.
I would just be Eric. I'd just spell it with an A. A-R-I-C.
Arik.
I went to high school with a guy named Eric who spelled it that
Seriously?
way.
Huh.
All right. My
Or with a K.
secrets person says that he is on a plane right now,
Wow.
but we'll have a layover in 30 minutes, so I don't think we'll be able to have him on.
Next time.
Tell him if he's that important, he could land the plane.
Yeah.
When
Land
he's
this plane
on,
now.
he's messaging you, so he must be on
Definitely the
Wi-Fi.
plane. Yeah, something. So, all right, let's move on to another question. This is from Tyler. I have two quick questions.
2?
One, will the Fluid Slammer be available to the public after the disc golf experience at Nissan Stadium?
Good question. I do not know the answer.
Yeah, we don't know the answer.
It kind of depends on how many people come play the Nissan Stadium event.
That's
I'm
true.
guessing. I don't know. I'm not even going to guess.
I would have to say, typically the thing is when we make these special discs for an event, and then if we have any left over,
We'll sell them.
and not necessarily online though.
Not necessarily.
Sometimes it'll just be in store, and then
or on RVs.
RVs, or it's like months and months and months until we finally say, okay, let's make those a regular stock.
Yeah, I mean, we want to make
stock
it special
thing.
for that event.
Yeah. And 2, what factors should I look for in a tailwind driver? If a headwind driver needs to be overstable, does a tailwind driver need to be understable? Thanks for your help and keep it real.
I wouldn't say understable. For me, a tailwind driver, I like to throw something relatively neutral, kind of like a trespass or even a sheriff. When I think understable, I think, for my game at least, something like a renegade. And I don't want to throw something too understable because if you get it turned over to the right a little bit on the flight, it's just going to slam into the ground quite a bit faster.
Right.
But if you're throwing something neutral like a trespass or even a convict, you get it out there flat, and it's just going to hold that line a little bit longer.
Yeah. if you're used to, if your arm speed isn't that of Eric's and say your trespass is your overstable driver, then you might consider something like a Renegade, which for you will be a little bit more neutral to slightly understable.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go totally on the other end of the spectrum. I wouldn't say, Witness needs to be your tailwind driver. It's just too easy to get dumped over. But if your arm speed is slow enough that it flies kind of neutral for you, I think that's a great call.
So let me give my input, since I'll even go down the level more.
Yeah.
Is when I have a good tailwind, sometimes I'll grab my Thief.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I would say you throw a Thief like I throw a Convict.
Yeah, and but something I'm really liking is the Westside Discs Queen. And yesterday when I played my solo round, because nobody could get ready in 5 minutes.
True.
I threw the Westside Disc Queen. In fact, I have two queens. I have a VIP and TP, and I'm really liking the
VIP.
Is the VIP
That's the one with the Answer Man stamp?
No, that's the other. That's
okay. The TP then.
The TP one. The VIP is a little, which is weird. I'm typically that Lucid style. Usually seems to be more stable for me, but seems to be opposite. Anyway, so the Queen. But then what I'm getting at is that there is one hole 17, where it was a little bit of headwind, and I almost threw the Queen, but I thought, no, headwind. You got to throw something that isn't understable.
Right.
And I threw that Trespass, and it stood up, and I got some distance out of it.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just like an important lesson. It's like you got to
sure.
really think about that wind.
You got to be paying attention to everything.
Right.
Yeah.
And
so many variables.
When you mentioned the Trespass being more your neutral flyer, for me, it's not a neutral flyer. It turns. But in that headwind, that becomes almost a neutral flyer for me.
Yep.
So you got to know the wind. You got to pay attention to your skill level, and then you got to pay attention to the wind. And So
yeah,
anyway.
and by that I meant your neutral flying
right,
disc.
Right.
I was just giving an example of what my neutral flying disc is.
Yeah.
But whatever flies relatively straight for you.
All right, next one comes from Ryan. I am new to the sport and want to start competing. What is the best way to get involved in tournaments? Pay to sign up?
Yeah.
So, head over to pdga.com.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where you'll find a list of events. If you're looking for...
sign up for the PDGA first.
Yeah.
It would be one of my first things I would do.
Sure. If you're looking for, you mean like tournament mentality or what to prepare for? What do you think?
I mean, I'm making light of what I'm kind of teasing you, Ryan. I hope you took that good sport with that. But yes, a good way to me is to find a local club and maybe playing. Some people call it league night. Some people call it minis, where you pay $5 and it's not a tournament, but at least it's some sort of organized round where you put some money on the line.
Yeah, it's scored.
You get mixed in with different people. It's not necessarily your friends all the time. You get mixed in with people, and you get, because there is. I remember the first time playing a mini, it was kind of weird because usually I was playing with my buddies, but now it's like people you don't really even know because you have people from different towns coming over. So it's a different kind of feel to perform and to try to do well in front of people you don't know. So that's a good way to get started. Then, of course, get your PDGA membership and then start looking for, a C tier in your area.
Sure.
And sign up for that and just do it. And if you're not even sure what division, just kind of, if it's a course that you've played before, kind of look at some past C tiers at that course and see where you would kind of fit in. And then,
if it's your first event, I would just suggest playing one of the lower divisions.
That's true.
And see how you stack up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I would say, too, when you go to minis or leagues or anything like that, if you're paired with people who are better than you, ask questions. I mean, when we have our tag night on Wednesdays, more than a couple of times, I've had people on my card who it's only, maybe their 10th time playing or something like that, and they ask a lot of questions, and that's great. Like, man, we love to help people out who are just getting into disc golf. But then if you say you don't have those people on your card, pay attention to who wins those minis and go and ask them questions. Ask them for tips and things like that, because that's a great way to get started and to understand what playing a tournament is going to be like.
Yep.
Awesome. All right, let's go back to a couple more speak pipe questions and see what Matthew has to say.
Hey guys, this is Matthew all the way from Canada. I've had a lot of time to reflect on my GBO experience. It was amazing. I really hope I get to come back next year. I love volunteering on hole 5 at the East Course. One thing that I think I did wrong at the GBO is saying that Too Tall McCall was a bad nickname. I really think that Too Tall, in an ironic sense, works really well. Like a big guy that you call tiny. I think that Too Tall is just it. It's short, it's snappy, it's sexy, it gets all kinds of points.
Whoa.
I think all you need to do, Robert, this is my question to you.
Can't wait.
Will you wear a hello, my name is Too Tall sign for 2 weeks at the office and see if everyone else doesn't agree that Robert Too Tall McCall isn't the best nickname in disc golf?
Okay.
What's your answer?
This guy's serious.
He's very intense about it.
Serious stuff.
Oh man. I don't know. I'm hesitant to do that because generally nicknames given to yourself don't do very well. I mean,
yeah.
Also, it's wildly inaccurate. I mean, I understand it in the ironic sense, but I don't know. As far as the sign goes, I can give that a hard pass. But thank you for your enthusiasm. I do remember when we had that conversation. He said he was going to walk over and suggest Too Tall, but then I met you in person. And you're not very tall.
And you're not tall.
That's
You're
yeah.
not very tall.
Thank you.
That's awesome. A couple things. Some other things I want to talk about from PDGA.com is it looks like they had some innovation grant winners. If I remember correctly, you can submit ideas to PDGA, and they will give you grant money to do some of your ideas. And I just wanted to point out some of these ideas look pretty cool. One guy says he wants to do the physics of disc golf. The grant money would be used to develop 2 modules or learning activities demonstrating the physics of flying discs. The first would be on winged flight and how the flying disc profile is the same as that used on airplanes and was developed by the Wright brothers. The second would demonstrate how gyroscopic motion stabilizes the flight of the disc, as well as other uses for this type of motion.
That's awesome.
I think that's pretty interesting.
I'd be super interested in reading or hearing those.
That's from Anil Dabb, D-A-B-B. Hopefully,
cool.
If whatever he puts together, we'll be able to see something like that.
Yeah.
Valerie Jenkins, of course. Valerie's always. I mean, she's just always involved. I think it's awesome.
She's innovating everything.
She is women's. She wants to put together women's disc golf instructional videos. They would cover the basics of throwing drivers, mid-ranges, and upshots, as well as how to build your mental game, and even a video on how to run a women's league or women's tournament.
Cool.
She said the videos could be featured on YouTube's PDGA's YouTube channel. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you are a lady listening, or if you have a lady in your life and you're listening, and you're thinking that's really cool, make sure you go to our YouTube channel, dynamicdisc.com, where we have Paige Pierce does some instructional videos, as well as Tina Stenitis has done some instructional videos, which I think are really good. And we're talking to Miss Denise Cameron from Latitude 64. We're going to talk about some ideas for her to do some, because I think it is important to have some instructional videos from a women's point of view perspective type thing. So
you could also watch Paige Bjerkes' point of view.
Paige Bjerkes' point of view on the Dynamic Disc Facebook Live page.
Today. Well, I mean, yesterday.
Whenever this is recorded.
Yeah.
Let's see, what was another guy, California Disc Golf Junior Championships. Nice. So it looks like you want a junior disc golf championships in California. There's quite a few others. So yeah, go to PDGA.com and look for the article.
Is there a voting? Or are these just all the people?
I think these are already awarded.
These are already awarded, yes. Okay.
Cool.
Oh, wait. It says accepting applications for the June 1st deadline, which is 2 days from now. So it's already finished. Sorry, guys. Let's see. It says an unprecedented 21 applications were received by PDGA officers. The grants are typically awarded in the month that follows the application deadline. And we apologize for the delay. However, we believe that the ends justify the means. Blah, blah, blah. So anyway, I just thought it was kind of neat. I was looking through this. This is kind of a couple months old article, but I thought it was kind of interesting to see some of the ideas that people have and they want to put into action.
Awesome.
Cool. All right, let's go. Let's finish this up with the last few questions. We have Jared. Hey, guys, second question in 3 days. So I've got a bunch of Innova in my bag, and I've been working on honing my form recently, and it's definitely improving my game. But here's my question/issue. I would love to get some discs from these quote, more professional brands, Dynamic Discs, Westside Discs, and Latitude 64, but I can't manage to convince myself to spend the money to basically fill a whole new bag. It's an oft-repeated cliche in the shooting sports world to spend time and effort on skills before you spend money on upgraded gear. What route do you think would be best? Thanks, gentlemen.
More professional?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think one way that disc golf differs from shooting sports is that a lot of the guns that you'd be shooting, they're trained to do the same thing. They're going to shoot straight. They're going to shoot accurately. And then as you get more expensive stuff, it's definitely a law of diminishing returns where you spend $2,000 more on a gun just to get an eighth of an inch more accuracy.
That works in cameras as well.
Yeah. See, now with disc golf, I think it's a little bit different.
Maybe
because
that's what he was talking about.
Shoot, yeah, you do shoot with a camera. Yeah.
In disc golf, it's a little bit different because different discs fly different ways. So it's not like Innova has this product that's okay for you when you're learning, and then we have this product that's way better when you're more advanced. Discs are different. They have different personalities. They are intended to fly in different ways. They have different glide and different turn. And so I wouldn't wait until you get better to try out our products, not just because they're our products and we are excited when we sell them, but there might be a disc of ours that is something that you need to improve your game, even just as you're learning different form. I would try them out, and buyback retailers are a great way to do that.
That's what I was going to suggest.
Yeah, go. Tell them a little bit about.
Well, the buyback retailer program is pretty awesome. Actually, I don't know if anybody else really does anything like it, but you find a buyback program which is listed on our website. You can go in there, you can try out a disc, you can buy any disc, and you can take it out for 14 days. Mm-hmm. And you can try it, you can throw it, and if it's just not working for you, you can bring it back and exchange it for a brand new disc. And that disc that you're exchanging doesn't even have to be one of ours.
Yeah, right.
You can exchange it for an Innova disc if you want. So that's kind of a great, that kind of just shows how much we believe in our product.
Absolutely.
And it just makes sense to go in and, hey, I want to try this disc out, but I don't really want to spend the money, or I just don't know. I know I can throw this disc, but just give it a try.
Yeah.
Give it a try. And if you don't like it, bring it back and exchange it. And it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's a really great concept.
Yeah,
It's
you can go
awesome.
to dynamicdiscs.com, and in the upper right, there's a link that says Find a Retailer. And from there, you can find one near you. And then we have it kind of color-coded so you can find a buyback dealer near you.
Yes.
Get more information for sure. This one's from Charles. What's up, Bobby, Eric, and Robert? I love the podcast and have just started listening over the past few months. I have a question about college disc golf. I am the commissioner of the Southern Collegiate Disc Golf Association. I'm wondering what your thoughts are on the best way to stimulate the growth of college disc golf. Do you think that college disc golf needs to stay the same as it is now with a lot of qualifiers that send different teams to nationals?
Seems to make sense. I don't know. That's how other sports qualify for their national championships. Is you play a season and then a season-ending tournament, and then if you are seeded high enough, you go on. I think that makes sense for disc golf, just because I don't know. You couldn't really do regular league nights where, say University of Kansas meets up with University of Kansas State, and then whoever wins that week, well, they lodge a win. Or log a win. I don't think that's really the way to go.
I mean, in the future, yes. If the sport gets bigger, then I could see
and
more
there's
of that
a ton
type
of money
stuff.
being poured into it.
Yep,
sure.
I can see that. But right now, it just seems like the system that's in place is really working. I mean, keeping in mind that the collegiate side of things hasn't been around that long.
Yeah, it's in its infancy. I mean, all things considered.
Well, disc golf's in its infancy,
right.
all things considered. So.
Yeah, so I like qualifiers for that. I would think one thing that I would work on in collegiate disc golf is not just having disc golfers who already play and saying, all right, you're on the team, but maybe starting like a JV team or a freshman team or something where those experienced disc golfers can bring in other athletes who maybe they're not playing sports at the collegiate level, but they are used to teaching their body what to do and used to athletic movements, and developing some disc golfers that way. I would love to see something like that.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Very cool. All right, one last question from Cody on SpeakPipe. Hold on.
What is up, Bobby Cool Daddy, Slick Breeze, Eric Emac, McCabe, and Robert? Where are you going to make Bobby take you for lunch, McCall?
Yeah, he is.
So I was listening to a Smashbox podcast a long while back.
Yeah, we're going to end that right there. No, hold on.
Hateful.
And they had Paul Ulibarri on it, and they were talking about the audible snap off of a disc on your drive. And Paul Ulibarri was talking about how he feels like that is physical drag on the disc that's making that sound. In return, it is hurting your throw and taking away some of the momentum that you could get from the throw. And in a way, I kind of agree with that. It makes a lot of sense, and I was just wondering on where you guys stand on that, and if you do agree with that, what are some tips for stopping that? Because I notice on quite a few of my drives, I get that audible snap, and sometimes it bothers me because I think that I'm losing power on my throws, and I'm not sure what I can do to make that stop. Thanks, guys, and keep it real.
First, the introduction was on your side, was it not? Not your side?
Oh, was it?
Wasn't it Robert?
Yeah.
Gonna make Bobby take me out to lunch, McCall?
Yeah,
you got really excited about that.
You taunted me.
I get excited for
You
lunch. I don't
taunted
care
me
who's paying
for.
it.
Yeah, we're gonna eat lunch together. Very fair.
I'm just happy to be in his company.
Yeah. Right.
Sure.
And,
Nice,
hey, the
nice
feeling's
cover
mutual,
up.
buddy.
To answer the question, I honestly don't know if it's affecting distance or it could be with a little bit of drag maybe, but I think of players like Valerie Jenkins Doss, whatever you want to call her. She has more snap, like literally snap that you can hear.
Yeah.
Than anybody I've ever seen, and she has no troubles getting the disc out there with a lot of distance.
If I remember right, I think she explained. I don't know. I think I remember this right, but she says it's because
it's her left hand.
No.
She snaps
She's really
as she
good at
throws.
timing it, though.
Yeah. No, it's because she's not. She has such a good grip on the disc.
Right.
That when she releases it, it's as if you got so much power that the disc is like being thrown out of your hand. What's the phrase I'm thinking of?
Like ripped out of your hand.
Yeah, like ripped out of your hand, and so your grip is still on the disc, and it just goes together so fast it makes a snap sound. I believe that's the way she explained it.
Yeah, that's how I've seen that get generated more. Is super grip.
I would assume though, if it is affecting your distance and your power, it can't be by much, right?
I wouldn't. It can't be that much, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I played with a guy in Abilene who every time he threw was, I can't snap loud enough to imitate how loud his was, but I mean, he still put it, a long ways out there. So maybe they're just gripping the disc too tight. For me, if that was happening to me, that doesn't. I don't get a lot of that audible snap on my discs. But if it was happening to me, I don't think I would put a lot of time into trying to change something just so that doesn't happen. Because if it is affecting your disc, I would assume it's 1% to 2%. It's not like a 5% to 10% or anything like that.
Yep.
I don't know. You throw really far, and your discs don't really come out with snap.
No.
Have they ever?
I don't think so.
Maybe just like occasionally, right?
Yeah. From gripping it maybe a little harder than I should, but
yeah.
I don't know.
If anything, maybe try loosening up your grip and see if that does anything for you, but I honestly wouldn't change a whole lot.
All right, we're going to try something real quick. So I apologize if the audio is not that great. So we may try this and it just fail.
All right.
Miserably.
Trial and error. What are we trying?
We're going to see if we can't. Oh, you can't do that. Okay. Let's try
So
something.
error.
So error, yeah.
Error 1.
Let's try something different. Bear with me here, people that are listening and watching. Let's see if I can get this done. Try here.
You're trying to get somebody on the phone?
Yeah, but I don't know if it's going to work. Hold on just a second. Somebody don't leave us with uncomfortable silence. Okay, here we go. Hold on. Oh. Hold on. This probably is not going to be very good, is it?
Hello, this is Terry.
Hey, Terry, this is Bobby. How are you?
I'm great. How you doing?
Good. All right, you are a super special secret guest.
This is like Terry Miller, Terry?
Terry Miller, yes, the disc golf guy.
Oh.
What does he know?
Hey, T-Dog.
Hi, how you doing?
Dude,
I'm
great.
super special and featured?
Yes,
Man.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Welcome.
We had it.
I'll take it.
We had a question come up that I thought maybe you as a TD might be able to give some good insight.
Okay.
All right. So the question, what was it? It was
Sure.
Go ahead.
So say I'm putting inside the circle and I throw my putt and accidentally foot fault forward. Can I? Well, first, I guess the first question is, can I call myself on a foot fault, or how do you go about making that right? I think that's the gist of the question.
I believe it was a year or two ago. In the last few years, they have changed the rule that you cannot call a foot fault on yourself.
That was my understanding as well.
I know there was some questionable situations with a number of top pros and others where they had missed a putt, maybe somewhat intentionally, then foot faulted, looking for the call, and then they were technically using it to their advantage, which is obviously not the spirit of the rule in the first place, or really the spirit of the game.
Yeah.
But
so then
I've heard of multiple situations of that happening.
Right. So then how do you think, if you do it on accident, if you're not trying to gain a competitive advantage, but nobody really sees, what's kind of the best recourse to get that figured out?
I would think that there would be some type of warning that would be issued amongst the group, would be my best case. I haven't really ever thought about it in the past as to if that situation unfolds, but immediately I think if I were to throw a putt, for instance, and I knew that I foot faulted, but no one in the group called me on it, but I certainly foot faulted, whether I made it or missed it, A, I would hope they would call it, and B, if they didn't, I would hope we should at least come to a consensus that I should be warned.
Sure.
So if it were to happen again, I would for sure be penalized. I don't know if that's kind of like still calling it, but I mean, if you call it on someone, the first time is a warning, and then you have to re-putt regardless whether you made it or missed it.
Right. Huh. Okay.
I think.
All right.
Yes.
So if you were to putt and then no one was to call it, maybe you can't call your own foot fault on yourself, but you should be able to at least warn yourself. Yeah, you can warn yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have an outburst and you yell or scream at your card mates, or you bust out an expletive,
like you used
and then
to do
you
all the time when you
immediately
played.
say, "Hey, I'm going to put a warning down for myself on the card."
Yeah.
I would assume this would be along those lines.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha.
All right. Well, that makes sense. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation because, as we all know, everyone hates to be that guy and call foot fault, and sometimes they're more blatant than others.
Right.
But it's really awkward depending on if the person makes it or misses it. And it should have no impact or bearing whatsoever, but we all know that sometimes it does. Sometimes when you see someone foot fault, it almost feels okay that when they foot fault and you don't call it on them and they've missed it, you're kind of thinking, well, maybe that's what they deserve.
Yeah.
But when they make it, you're more inclined to call it. And it shouldn't be that way. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
It shouldn't matter. You should call it no matter what. But there's a certain amount of awkwardness there sometimes, depending if people do or don't make it.
Yeah,
for sure. Cool. What you got going on?
We just got off the plane minutes ago in Denver, which I believe, if I recall from being out here last year, Denver's airport has some of the best internet in the world that I've ever been on.
Oh,
so
yes.
I'm kind of excited about that. I got to find something to upload just so I can take advantage of this airport internet speed. And then I think we have a relatively short layover. It's myself and cameraman Chad, and we are then going to be touching down in Salt Lake City, and then we'll be doing the podcast on location at a sponsored bar and grill of sorts tonight, and getting ready for the Utah Open.
The Utah Open, nice.
Yeah.
So pretty excited about it, and getting back to hopefully some beautiful views and live coverage, and the Disc Golf Pro Tour resumes after a few national tour events. So.
Nice. Now, dude, here's just for you, Terry, Disc Golf Answer Man exclusive, because you like exclusive so much. Who's winning the?
I do.
Who's winning the Utah Open?
Who's winning in Utah?
Yeah, who's going to win it?
As sad as it is, I haven't really looked at the registration list, but I'm going to call Wysocki. I don't know that he throws far. It's relatively open. I think he's had good success out here before. He's the second best player on the planet. So I'm not going out on any limbs here, but I think my call will be Wysocki.
All right. I was going to say that if you said you hadn't looked at the registration list, I was going to say that you had looked at the cop-out list, but I'm glad that you made it right. So that's
that
right.
I had looked at what?
The cop-out list, the excuse list.
Oh, no, I'm going with Wysocki.
Sounds good.
All right, well, we'll let you get back to your travels, but thanks for letting us call you out and call you.
Yeah, call you out.
Yeah, don't listen to this episode.
No, all right. I'm glad to do so anytime. Hopefully the audio and everything works well for you.
Oh, yeah,
Take care, guys.
perfect. All right, we'll see you, Terry.
Later, T-Dog.
All right. See ya. Bye.
All right, there you go, Mr. Terry Miller, the disc golf guy, calling in, helping us out with a question. Thanks so much for that. Make sure you guys follow everything they do, Disc Golf Guy YouTube channel and Smashbox to support them with their live coverage. Without them, we would have somebody else doing it.
Since, they're the only ones in the game.
Yeah.
Oh, just picking on
You're a
them.
goof.
Johnny V and Terry are awesome.
Yeah, good dudes.
We like what
for
they
sure.
do. So. All right, well, that's it. We've ran through all the questions everywhere on SpeakPipe and on the forum. So thank you guys so much for listening. What do we got coming up?
I'm playing a tournament this weekend.
What are you playing?
Next 2 weekends.
Oh, the Doodah.
I'm playing the Wichita
Doodah Day?
Yeah.
And what is your forecast there?
My forecast is I'm going to check the courses out today, and then we'll see how it goes after that. I'd like to shoot, every round over 1,000 would be nice, but I would also take, 3 rounds over 1,000 would be nice too. That it's actually a really good, a pretty solid field. Lots of guys in the 980s to 990s, 1,000 rated guy. I assume that we'll get a few more 1,000 rated guys soon. But
you're going up against a teammate of Ben Wiggins.
Ben Wiggins, he can play some golf, dude.
Crispin Carrasco.
He can play
his
some golf.
home.
Yep.
So
And
it's gonna be tough competition. No doubt
Westside
about it.
Discs. Kyle Webster will be there.
Yep.
What do you think?
Lots of good players, man. I mean, this is one of those, like, any tournament I play, I would love to win. I think this will be a particularly tough tournament to win.
it is. It always is. It's a tough one. Courses aren't the easiest, especially if you don't know them.
Right.
Have you ever played out there for this event though?
Oh yeah, I've played the Doodah
okay.
many times. Many times. I would be playing in it, but I am actually traveling to Texas to discuss a new course going in the ground.
Yeet.
Can you say? Are you allowed to say where yet?
We'll just say in Texas.
It's in.
Oh, that narrows it down.
You
a
see,
little.
if you look at Texas,
It's
it's
only the
it's
smallest
in
state.
there.
It's somewhere deep in the heart of Texas.
All right, good stuff. Cool. I'm going to be cheering on Mr. Jeremy Rusko and Mrs. Jeremy Rusko, Wendy Rusko. Sorry.
She doesn't have a name anymore.
We're going back to the 60s. No, and they're going to be participating in the Dirty Kansas 100. And they always that's what I love about Emporia. There's big events coming, and the downtown of Emporia, if you're a disc golfer, you know GBO is big downtown block party. Well, for the Dirty Kansas is just the same, but for a bunch of bikers.
Yep.
Not bikers, but
leather.
Well, they're
man.
bikers.
Yeah,
they're
bikers, I guess,
mountain bikers or
gravel grinders,
yeah.
or whatever they
Yeah.
call them. So anyway, so they'll have food out there, and then we're gonna have our lawn chairs out there, and we'll have cowbells, and we'll cheer on people as they finish the event. So that'll be fun to cheer them on. And another friend, Bobby Thompson, who is our realtor.
Cool.
And he rides it in well. He does a lot for that type of bike riding. Cool. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for tuning in. We will see you next week.